All right. Hello. It's great to be back here. All right. Today I'm going to talk about 5 ways that imperfect action helped me create $1 million business. All right. 5 ways imperfect action helped me create $1 million business. All right. So if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. I'd love to connect. If you're watching live, do say hello. Hashtag live. This is going to be super valuable, right? This is, by the way, part of streaming. We are right now on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram, right? You might be listening to this on the podcast. Welcome to the Thriving Coach Business Show, right? This podcast is really created to help you build a thriving coaching business, to help you build a successful coaching business, right? So you can have that big impact that you want in the world, so you can have that freedom that you want for yourself and your family, and of course so you can make the money that you want, right? I help coaches grow their business to 6 figures and multiple 6 figures. And I want to just I'm really excited about this because I wish I learned this stuff 6 years ago when I started. See, it's October 2022 right now that I'm recording this, and I started this in 2016. And if I knew this, honestly, it would have made us so much more impact. So let's first talk a little bit about imperfect, and then I'm gonna share with you guys, right, how this single video can literally transform your business, can literally double your business, can change the direction of your business completely, right? Because I truly believe that that it's not one decision doesn't change our life or doesn't change our business overnight, but it's our like the mental process, right? It's like how we think has such a big impact on our behavior, and of course our behavior has a big impact on the results that we create. Okay, but let me define imperfect action first, because the title of this is right, like 5 ways imperfect action helped me create $1 million business, right? And just to be transparent, right? So the last 3.5 years, 4 years, we've created close to 1.5 million. Our clients have created over 2 million just in the last few years. And before I dive into the five ways, let's talk a little bit about what imperfect action is. Imperfect action is not hustle. I'm not talking about hustle here. I'm not talking about massive action. Like, action is important, but this is not about. This is not a video that talks about like, if you just take massive action, you're gonna achieve everything you want. I don't believe in that. I think action is really important. In fact, I love this formula by Angela Duckworth. She wrote this great book called Grit, right? She talks about how talent plus effort creates skill, and skill plus not plus multiply. Talent multiplied with effort creates skill. Effort multiplied with skill creates results. And this is really important, right? But and here's the thing, right? So for me, imperfect action is that effort, right? But it's not hustle. It's intentional. It's playful action, intentional action. There's that willingness to be messy. That's for me imperfect action. You see, even here, my background, there's stuff on top of the bookshelves, right? My background is not perfect, right? And there's so many things happening. I wanted to go stream this episode also live on LinkedIn, and I just realized just before this call that my LinkedIn account probably gets shut down. Hey, there's crazy things happening in business, right? That's part of business, but it's just imperfect action. All right, cool. So again, I can see some of you are live with me. Do say hello if you're live. This is going to be super valuable, right? And if you are watching on the replay, hashtag replay. So let's dive in. Number one, right? How did imperfect action help me create so much wealth, and how can it help you? So number one is this: it is excellence versus imperfect, or versus perfection. You see, perfection can be like, can kill your dreams. Perfection can kill your dreams. But here's the thing, I don't just take action. For me, I approach everything in my life and business with excellence. And excellence for me means doing things to the best of my ability, doing things at a high standard, right? So imperfect action, doesn't mean just take action and be dumb, right? That's not what we're talking about. There's and I say this without judgment, right? But there are people that take a lot of action and they broke, right? I used to work like 12-hour shifts, and I wasn't making money. I was getting paid £5 an hour. This is 8 years ago, in a bagel shop. So just action doesn't equal success, right? So it's really, excellence is so important. It's like, I've and that's kind of connected to the second way, right? And the second way kind of will give you more clarity. Hey, Shimanara, I hope I pronounce your name properly. Shimanara says, what's the difference between excellence and being perfect? That's a great question, right? What's the difference between excellence and being perfect? And here's the thing, the difference for me is, right, excellence, and that's connected to the second part, is the second way is studying your craft. If you're committed to excellence, right, you're committed to mastery. You're committed to like becoming the best, right? And for me, like in the last 6 years, I've invested in the best coaches in the world, right? And it's not from a place of ego, but it's because I'm dedicated. I'm committed to be the best. Hey, I actually have, Steve Hardison joining live. Hey, Steve, I love you back. Thank you so much for joining. But this is the thing. Like, imperfect action doesn't just magically lead to results, right? If you want the results, if you want to create those results, you have to be committed. And Steve is a great example of that, right? His wife wrote this beautiful book, The Ultimate Coach, and when you go through that book, and I see that in that book, and I've seen that by studying, great athletes. Like, if you study Kobe Bryant, you study Michael Jordan, you study like Serena Williams, right? You watch their documentaries, you read their books, you can see that they were dedicated to mastering their craft. So that's excellence for me, right? Okay, that's a very important distinction, right? That you have to commit to being great, right? Commit to being great at what you do. Here's the thing, and imperfect, that kind of comes back to that question: what's the difference between excellence and perfect? Perfection sometimes like stops us from taking action, right? That's why I'm talking about imperfect action, because when you focus on imperfect action, you're okay. You have that growth mindset. You're okay with being messy, right? You're okay with making mistakes. But again, we're not doing that with by just putting blinders on, right? We're taking action. We're taking action. We're imperfect action. We're committing to excellence. We're always committed to getting better. And this is the third way, right? This is number 3. The third way is you have to commit to post analysis. You have to commit to game film. This is, again, I see myself as a business athlete, right? I see myself as a business athlete, because what do athletes do? They perform and then they analyze their performance, right? 3 simple questions can change your performance, right? Number 1, after each performance, you can ask yourself, and this applies, by the way, whether you're a business owner or a professional in any profession, right? But if you do this as a coach, right, if you do this as an entrepreneur, it's gonna take your game to the next level. So number 1, you can ask yourself, what went well? Like, what went well today? Or what went well specifically in this performance? What went well in this coaching session? What went well in this enrollment conversation? Number 2, what can I do better, right? So what went well? What can I do better? And number 3 is, what can I change to be my best? What can I change to be my best? By the way, if you see me looking here, I'm looking at Instagram. So if you guys see me looking here, I'm looking at the laptop, because we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all at the same time, right? Again, this is part of having fun, right? I didn't actually write that down as one of the ways, but having fun is so important, right? And for me, this is about service, right? This is about service. And I think that's another really important thing. That's actually, I'm coming back to that part in point 5, in the 5th way, right? In fact, let's be playful. Let's jump to the fifth way. We'll come back to the fourth way, right? The fifth way, imperfect action have helped me create millions, and it can help you, right? Is showing your work, being bold, right? And that's again about showing up. You see, I don't do this as a means to an end. I've spoken about this many times, right? But I don't do this as a means to an end. For me, it's I know that when people watch this, in fact, I know that if I would watch this 3 years ago or 6 years ago, it would have a massive impact on my business, right? And I know that there are people right now watching, and they watch this and they make notes, right? And this video will just have a massive impact on their business. In fact, you can apply it to anywhere, but if you watch this stuff, if you put this stuff into practice, you can have a huge impact, right? And that's the fifth way, is showing your work. Like, you can be really good at what you do, right? You can be a great coach, a great therapist, a great consultant, but if nobody knows about you, you might have a few clients, right? But you're, this best kept secret. And that was me like years ago, right? And it was frustrating because I could see a lot of people, a lot of coaches were, were not as good as me. I could see a lot of these marketers that were creating a lot of success. And by the way, this is not so much about the ego, right? Like, I want other people to succeed, right? But I was like, hey, why am I not succeeding? And it's because I wasn't showing up. And this is one of the reasons I'm doing this challenge as well, where every single day I'm showing up, I'm recording, I'm serving, right? See, to be in service, we need to show up. We need to show up and show our work, and also produce. It's very easy to go into consumer mode. I love reading, I love learning. I've invested over $300,000, right, in coaching and mentoring, in some of the best business programs in the world, some of the best coaches in the world. And I love that, right? I love the reading part, the learning part. But if you're just learning and consuming and just attending trainings and certifications, right, you're not going to create that impact that you want, right? So number 5 is show your work, create experiences for people, right? So they can experience you and your work. All right. So before I continue, before I go to number 4, right, let me know, like, what's been useful for you? What's been useful for you? What's hitting home? All right. So, and then let's go to number 4, right? Number 4, it's priming yourself, and getting yourself in the right state, emotional state. Because look, we all sometimes we overthink things. Like, just Wednesday I was on a call with one of my coaches, and I was very much in my own head, right? And I knew that I haven't been, and it's a good thing, right? Like, sometimes businesses, like, I have a lot of active clients, I think 30-40 clients. Most of, we run 3 groups right now. I have 3 one-on-one clients, actually 4 one-on-one clients, and we got around like 30-35 people in a group, in the different group programs. And I got a lot of, normally I got quite a bit of space in my calendar. But the last few weeks, there's been things happening in our business. My business partner is not well. She's taking time off. My operations manager is taking time off, right? So it's just me. And so there's a bit less space, and I'm not showing up. I'm in my own head, right? And this comes back to this, right? You have a lot to offer, right? And I'm really, this is just such a big, just a reminder for myself. You see, like, I'm not teaching you guys this stuff. Like, I need to hear this stuff myself, right? Because, and this is why I'm here right now, showing up, right? Because it's, if you're not in the right emotional state, you're not gonna be able to tap into your creativity, right? And how do we do that? How do we prime ourselves? Well, there's lots of different ways, but for me, simple way, I like to, connect with gratitude. Just simply ask myself, like, what are 3 things? What are 5 things I'm grateful for? And really connect to that. right? And we hear so much about gratitude and there's so much research on that, but it shifts your energy, right? And this is me being grateful, right? Because there's so much, and I know if you're listening to this, you're a coach, you've committed to mastery, right? You've consumed so much, you've learned so much, right? And be grateful for that. And now it's your duty, it's your responsibility to give back, to serve others, right? It's your responsibility to serve others. Okay, that's really important. And another thing that you can do is just really connect to your purpose and your mission. And again, you don't need to have this big mission, right? My mission is to help 10,000 orphans get quality education, and part of my mission on the other side is to help 10,000 coaches build a 6-figure business, to help 1,000 coaches build a 7-figure business, to create this movement of coaches that are prosperous. But my idea is not just to make a lot of money. So we take that money, we take 10% of that money, and we give it to charity. So together we make this big impact. And here's the thing: when I started, I didn't have this big mission, right? Maybe your mission is just to provide for your family. That's a beautiful mission, right? Because the definition of a hero is a protector of two, right? So that's a beautiful mission. But connect to that. You could even just connect to. I love what Brandon Burchard shared this years ago, like before going live or before doing recording a video, he would connect to the idea of one person watching this and it creating an impact in their life. That's another way of connecting. You can just think about one client and how this will be useful to that client, right? Like I'm not interested in followers. I'm not interested like in subscribers. I mean, it's great if we have 10 people watching this or 100 people. Of course the impact will be greater, but I'm not interested as a metric, if that makes sense, right? If I have 1 million people watching this and it's being useful and beneficial to them, that's great. I'm not just interested for my ego, right? So even if one person watches this and it has a big impact on them, right, that's enough. So we want to connect to that. And again, so those are the 5 ways, right? Those are the 5 ways Imperfect Action has helped me has helped me create $1 million business, right? So let me know wherever you're watching, where you're watching this. If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comment section. If you're watching this on Facebook, comment. Some of you are watching this on Instagram, listening to the podcast, just comment. Let me know what's your number one takeaway, right? And which of these 5 things can you put into practice, right? Which of these 5 things do you need to focus on? We can combine them, right? And sometimes like we can focus on one thing for 1 month and then bring the other thing. So let me just recap it while you're doing that, right? So number 1, the difference between excellence and perfect. Number 2, commit to mastery. Commit to studying your craft. Number 3, review, right? Post analysis. Review your work. It's not just about action. We need like a circle of feedback. And champions love feedback. Feedback, this can be just your own analysis. This also, if you're working with a coach, right? It's going to really help you. Number 4, prime yourself. Get yourself in the right emotional state, right? And then number 5 is show your work. Show your work. All right. It's 9:20. I'm going to wrap it up. I need to complete one more thing for my 75 hard challenge. So I'm going to the gym and then hit the bat. All right. It was really nice to share this with you. Let me know what was useful. Let me know what's your biggest takeaway, and also let me know what's one thing that you're going to put into practice. Remember, our focus is to take theory, put it into practice, and that's how we get into mastery, right? If you want to make more money in your business, you want to help more people, create more freedom for yourself, you need to put this stuff into practice. And I would love to hear like what results you're getting from this. All right, I'm back tomorrow, and so make sure you subscribe, click follow, right? Because every single day I'm gonna be back, and my promise to you is just to not hide anything, not hold back anything. It's just to create massive value for you. All right. See you on the other side. Take care.